What happened to America's Got Talent? Seriously, this used to be one of the best shows on TV. Back in the day, you'd sit down to watch real people with real talent. Singers, magicians, dancers, you name it. All competing for a shot at their dream. It felt exciting and unpredictable, and people loved it because you never knew what was coming next. But now, it's a whole different story. The show has become more about sad backstories than actual talent. You get these over-the-top judge reactions that feel fake, and half the time, the acts don't even seem that impressive. It's like they care more about making a viral moment than finding real stars. And let's not ignore how much the judges make it about themselves. Sometimes it feels like they're trying harder to be funny or dramatic than to give honest feedback. Fans are starting to notice, and honestly, a lot of people are tuning out. But that's just the beginning. Wait until we talk about how bad the talent has gotten. Some of the stuff they put on stage now will leave you wondering how it got past auditions. Let's be honest, the talent on America's Got Talent just isn't what it used to be. If you think back to the early seasons, the people who made it on stage were seriously talented. You had singers who could give you chills, magicians that made you question reality, and dancers that left you speechless. Now, it feels like a lot of people are getting through because they're weird or shocking, not because they're actually good. These days, it's all about grabbing attention, even if the act isn't really that talented. You'll see people swallowing swords, jumping into glass, or doing something outrageous just to get a reaction. And sure, some of those acts are cool for a minute, but do they really belong on a talent show? A lot of fans think no. It also feels like the show picks acts that are meant to go viral instead of ones that have staying power. Like, they want clips that people will share online for shock value, not acts that could have a real career after the show. That's a huge shift from what AGT used to be about. Finding real talent and giving them a platform. Another thing that's changed? The variety. Back then, you'd see all kinds of acts, from kids with amazing voices to people doing mind-blowing tricks. Now, it feels like they keep picking the same types of acts over and over. How many singers do we need? How many dance crews doing flips can you watch before it gets old? And let's not forget how some of these acts don't even seem ready for that stage. You see people performing who clearly haven't practiced enough, but they're pushed through because of a sad story or because they'll make good TV. Meanwhile, others with real talent might not even get shown. Fans have been calling this out for a while now. If you check Reddit or Twitter during AGT season, people are always saying things like, "This is a talent show, not a circus," or "Why do they keep picking these acts?" And honestly, they're right to ask. The whole point of AGT was supposed to be about talent that blows your mind, not just stunts for clicks. But if you think this is bad, wait until we dive into what's going on with the judges. That's a whole other mess. All right, let's talk about the judges. Because if we're being real, they've become part of the problem. In the early seasons, the judges actually judged. They gave honest feedback, sometimes tough love, but it felt real. Now, it's like they're playing characters on a reality show. First off, the lineup keeps changing. Remember when we had Piers Morgan, Sharon Osbourne, and even Howard Stern? You may have liked them or hated them, but they gave real opinions. They didn't sugarcoat everything. Now we've got judges like Simon Cowell, Howie Mandel, Heidi Klum, and Sofia Vergara. And half the time, it feels like they're trying to out-joke each other instead of focusing on the talent. Howie is making jokes, Sophia's playing up the clueless role for laughs, Heidi's being shocked at everything, and Simon? Well, he used to be the tough guy, but now he's softened up so much it feels fake. Like, are they even watching the same performance sometimes? They'll give standing ovations to acts that are honestly just okay. And don't get me started on the golden buzzer moments. Back when they introduced the golden buzzer, it was supposed to be for truly special acts, people who blew everyone away. But now, It's like every other episode, someone gets a golden buzzer because of a sad story, not because of their actual talent. The judges cry, the confetti falls, and the act might not even be that good. Plus, sometimes it feels like the judges are more focused on themselves than on the performers. How many times have we seen long judge banter that takes up way more time than the act itself? You know, the moments where Sophia and Heidi are joking around, or Simon and Howie are pulling pranks. And suddenly you realize, wait, wasn't this supposed to be about the contestant? Fans have noticed this too. If you read comments online, people are frustrated because the judges are acting more like celebrities doing a gig than experts helping someone win a life-changing prize. So now, not only is the talent sometimes lacking, but the people who are supposed to guide them and help choose the best acts aren't even doing their job right. But if you think that's frustrating, wait until we get into how much they focus on backstories instead of talent. That's where it really gets annoying. Now let's get into one of the biggest complaints people have about America's Got Talent today: the backstories. Look, we all love a good story. It's great to know where someone comes from, what struggles they've faced, and what this opportunity means to them. But lately, AGT has turned into a sob story contest instead of a talent competition. It feels like if you don't have some heartbreaking life story, you're invisible. And that's not fair. Sometimes you watch an act and think, wow, that was okay, but nothing mind-blowing. Yet because they had a rough past, the judges and audience treat it like it's the best thing ever. Meanwhile, another contestant who might be more talented gets less attention because their story isn't sad enough. It's like the producers care more about making people cry than showing off real talent. They'll spend 5 to 10 minutes showing us emotional interviews, sad music, family drama, and then give the person a 90-second performance. Shouldn't it be the other way around? Shouldn't we focus on what they came to do, not just what they've been through? Also, you can almost predict what's coming. The moment you see a contestant sitting down for a long interview about their life, you know the judges are going to give them standing ovations, no matter how they perform. It's become so formulaic that fans are catching on and calling it out. And it really takes away from the competition. Because instead of asking, who's the most talented person here? People are left thinking, who has the saddest story? That's not what AGT was supposed to be about. Plus, it puts pressure on contestants to perform their pain for the cameras. Not everyone wants to share their personal life like that, but they probably feel like they have to if they want a shot at getting through. At the end of the day, people watch AGT to see talent, amazing singers, magicians, dancers, not to be manipulated into crying every episode. But if you think that's all, wait until we talk about how fake the audience reactions have gotten. That's a whole other issue. Alright, now let's talk about something that really annoys a lot of people: the fake audience reactions and how the show tries to manipulate viewers. If you've been watching America's Got Talent for a while, you've probably noticed this too. Every time a contestant hits a high note or does something cool, the cameras cut to people in the audience gasping, crying, or standing up like it's the greatest thing ever. But let's be honest. Not every act deserves that kind of reaction. Sometimes it's just a regular performance, but you see people in the crowd acting like they've never seen anything like it before. It makes you wonder how much of that is real. A lot of fans have pointed out that the show reuses reaction shots. So that woman crying in the crowd? You might have seen her last week, crying for a totally different contestant. Once you notice it, you can't unsee it. And it's not just the audience. Even the judges seem to play along. You'll see them gasping and covering their mouths like they're shocked over something that's, honestly, not that shocking. It starts to feel like everyone's in on it, except the viewers at home. Another trick AGT uses is the editing. You can tell when they cut and paste moments together to make an act look more exciting than it actually was. Maybe the audience didn't clap that much during the real performance, but by the time it airs on TV, it looks like a standing ovation. The problem with all this is that it takes away from the real talent. If everyone is treated like a superstar, how do we know who's actually good? And if the show keeps trying to force us to feel a certain way, it starts to feel fake and exhausting. Fans watch AGT because they want to see amazing acts, not because they want to be tricked into thinking something was better than it was. But if you think that's frustrating, wait until we get into the debate about international contestants, because that's a whole other controversy. Now let's get into something a lot of fans are talking about. Why are there so many international contestants on America's Got Talent? Look, nobody's saying these acts aren't talented. Some of the best performances on AGT have come from people outside the US. But here's the thing. When a show is literally called America's Got Talent, shouldn't it be focused on giving American talent a chance? In recent seasons, more and more acts are coming from other countries. You'll see people introduced like all the way from Australia or flying in from Japan. And sure, some of them are amazing. But it makes you wonder, why aren't we focusing on homegrown talent? A lot of American artists never get a chance because they're being pushed aside for international acts that are sometimes already famous in their own countries. And that's another issue. Some of these contestants have already been on other Got Talent shows. You'll see someone on AGT and think, wow, this person is incredible, only to Google them and find out they won Britain's Got Talent 2 years ago or have a big following overseas. So are they really new discoveries? Or are they just pros brought in to make the show look better? A lot of fans feel like AGT is supposed to give regular American people a shot at something big. It was meant to find unknown singers, magicians, and performers who don't have agents or TV deals yet. But now, it feels like the producers are hunting for acts from all over the world just to fill time and get viral moments. Plus, it doesn't always feel fair. Some of these international acts show up with big production teams, fancy costumes, and polished routines, and they're going up against a kid from Iowa who just wants to sing. How is that an even playing field? At the end of the day, people want to root for someone they feel connected to, someone from their own country, someone whose dream is coming true. But when half the acts are from other places, that connection gets lost. And if you think that's hurting the show, just wait till you hear about how much the ratings have dropped. So after everything we've talked about, bad talent, fake reactions, judge drama, and focusing on sad stories, it's probably no surprise that America's Got Talent is losing viewers. Let's be real, people are just getting tired of it. The ratings for AGT have been dropping over the last few seasons, and fans are not shy about saying why. When the show first started, it was huge. Families would sit together and watch every week. It felt exciting, and people would actually talk about the performances the next day. Now, most people probably don't even know when a new season starts. One reason people are tuning out is because the show feels too scripted. Like we said earlier, if every judge gives a standing ovation and every contestant has a tear-jerking story, it doesn't feel real anymore. It feels like producers are trying too hard to make a moment, instead of letting moments happen naturally. Viewers can tell when they're being manipulated, and they don't like it. Also, the talent just isn't what it used to be. If people wanted to watch silly or shocking acts, they could scroll through TikTok or Instagram. You don't need to watch a 2-hour TV show for that. People used to watch AGT to see unique talent, something they couldn't see anywhere else. Now, a lot of acts feel like recycled content from social media. And let's be honest, competition shows in general are struggling. Shows like The Voice, American Idol, and others are also losing viewers because people are getting bored of the same format. AGT hasn't really changed much over the years, and that's part of the problem. Fans want something new, but all they're getting is the same formula over and over. There are still some loyal fans watching, but a lot of people who used to love the show have stopped caring. They want real talent, real reactions, and a show that feels genuine, not overproduced. But the big question now is, can AGT make a comeback, or is it too far gone? Let's talk about that next. So, where does that leave America's Got Talent? Can the show turn things around, or is it officially past its prime? Honestly, it's not too late to fix it. But they've got to make some serious changes. First off, get back to focusing on real talent. Enough with the over-the-top sob stories and shocking acts that are more about attention than skill. People want to see performers who actually deserve to win, not just the ones who make for good TV drama. Second, the judges need to step up. Fans want judges who give honest, thoughtful feedback, not just clap and hit the golden buzzer for every emotional story. Go back to being real, even if that means being a little harsh sometimes. Remember when Simon used to actually give helpful criticism instead of just playing the nice guy role? That's what's missing. Also, maybe cut back on international acts and give more American performers a chance, like the show's name promises. There are tons of talented people in the US who deserve a shot and never get the spotlight. And finally, stop trying to manipulate the audience. Let the talent speak for itself. People can tell when they're being played, and that's a big reason why viewers are walking away. At the end of the day, AGT could be great again if it focused on what made it special to begin with: real talent, real moments, and a real shot at making dreams come true. If you agree, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment on what you think is wrong with AGT today and how you think they could fix it. Let's get this conversation going.